What's up next for the United States? Welcome to Scrying Out Loud. My name is Trevor. So I thought we'd do a 6-month overview for the United States like we've done for Trump's health, JD Vance, Elon Musk, the Trump children. So when I was meditating, these were the images that I received. So the first one was the felon, and it was like he was standing on the steps of somewhere important, giving a speech about something. And but as he was speaking, it was like he was speaking into a balloon of some sort. And this balloon just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger as he spoke. And eventually it got so big that it popped, made a big loud sound, and then there wasn't anybody on the steps anymore. So um we can look into that. I think that's about him just basically being all words and no actions, but we shall see. Um, and then I did see lots of images of airplanes, and I don't want to alarm anybody because I don't necessarily foresee anything bad happening. I think that just means that it's going to be in the public discourse for quite a while. There was another accident in Arizona where one person died. So I think these are just going to be discussions happening. I don't see any tragedies or anything like that. So, um, full disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. But I did see an image of a hand on a computer mouse. And as I watched it move, the cursor on the screen, you could see that there were stock charts there. They were red, which usually means that the stocks are going down. And I heard the mouse click, and then it was just like a flash of sold. So uh, I think there might be some downturn in the stock market. But again, this is not financial advice. Consult an expert. And just because the market goes down over the next 6 months doesn't mean it's not going to come right back up. These things are hard to time. And then I saw images of judges in tennis shoes with robes on, like they were getting ready to run a race. And they started running. And as they started running, they were picking up traffic cones or like those barriers that they used to block off roads. And as they continued to run, they were placing these in various spots. So I think this is a positive sign, and we'll read more on that if needed. Um, I think this is just the courts stopping a lot of this nonsense from happening. And I've read on that before, and I've always gotten that the courts would hold and they would do their part and be an independent third branch of government or mostly independent. Um, so those were the images I saw. So we'll do the same pattern that we did with the other readings. We'll do the before tarot, then the Gilded Tarot Royale, the Rider Waite Tarot, the Light Seer Tarot, and then the After Tarot. So, what do we need to know about the United States over the next 6 months? What do we need to know about the United States over the next 6 months? I can see in the water some images of it looks like a person stocking a pantry with canned goods. I think I mentioned that in the overview for the year, as well as food prices might go up in the first part of this year, um, especially if these tariffs get enacted, but I'm not sure they will. At least not the most egregious ones. Also seeing a couple think they're just kind of quietly sitting on the couch. I don't know what that means exactly, but maybe that's just the universe's friendly way of saying that we can sit and relax. We don't have to always have the TV on or the news or reading something. You can read a book, for example. Okay, what do we need to know about the United States over the next 6? The energy feels very frantic right now. But as I've said, the month of February, which is we're getting close to halfway through it, um, the astrology is kind of like you're not going to know what's true or what's not true. You're going to have to really research things. So I think it's a time to be kind of patient. So if we start out with the tower, that's that really frenetic energy that I was talking about, that just like overwhelming energy. And I'm sure we've all had moments through the first part of this month where we've just like put our hands and, our head in our hands and kind of like let out a silent or maybe even verbal scream of like, what the heck is going on here? So that's February. Okay. Well, this matches. March, we get the Four of Swords. This is, the minor arcana death card, ill health. This could relate to the country. This could relate to the economy. This could relate to the person who's currently occupying the White House as well. I believe the Three of Swords was also in the month of March. We get the Ten of Cups in April. This is about families coming together, reunions. Um, in this particular depiction, people are running in from out of the rain. So it's like they're currently in the rain, but they're running towards shelter. And then we get the Three of Wands in May. This is an inevitability. Something's inevitably going to happen. It's waiting for one ship to come in. It could deal with foreign countries. It could also just be some sort of domestic inevitability. Um, so let's keep going. Decisions will have to be made about something in the month of June. And then this is my card for the Democrats. That's interesting. In the month of July. And I think I said this even in the 2025 predictions that come July or even late June, things should just look better. I don't know what that means exactly. It's just a feeling. It's not a particular uh, insight or anything. It's just a feeling. The Wheel of Fortune's on the bottom. So our fortunes are spinning, whether they're spinning in favor or against, that's yet to be seen. Um, all right, let's keep going. What do we need to know about the what's coming up for the United States over the next 6 months? So far, I think this is a very positive start to the reading. We still have 3 more or 4 more decks to go. What do we need to know about the United States over the next 6 months? Again, I think it's February. We go through the full moon and the new moon towards the end of the month and beginning of March. I think we'll see a little bit of ease in the tension in the air. Could be wishful thinking, but that's what it feels like. It feels like things will settle down. It won't be permanently, but it'll be, just a few weeks of pause. So we'll need to know about the United States over the next 6 months. Sure. So I think we're gonna see some more weather events. I think a lot of the country's currently under a winter storm warning, expecting some snow. Nothing too serious, but I think we'll see a lot of these kind of really not snow. It's more like thunderstorms that'll be kind of severe, which it's not really the right season for that. I think that's going to happen in the beginning part, but like February into March, and then of course April kind of is rainy season. Okay, so isn't that interesting? Under the tower, we have the King of Pentacles. This is my card for the felon. Who's creating the chaos? The felon. I mean, you didn't need me to tell you that. The Three of Wands again. Here you can really see the ship coming in. Inevitability. Could be foreign influence. It could have to do with foreign powers, or it could just literally be waiting for something to happen. It is underneath the Four of Swords, which is ill health, which is interesting. We have the Seven of Cups, clarifying the Ten of Cups in the month of April. This can be illusion and delusion, kind of like the February kind of feeling of like, yeah, not really sure exactly what's going on. But it also means that there's a lot of energies available to us during these times to manifest things personally. Okay. Underneath the Three of Wands in May, we get the Magician card. So some dark energy. I kind of feel like this is my card for Elon Musk now. I don't know when that happened, but it kind of feels like so something inevitable is going to happen, maybe with regards to Musk. We get the Chariot. This is good. Clarifying the Two of Swords. So we got February, March, April, May, June. This is movement, generally forward movement. It doesn't have to be. It can be kind of chaotic. All movement, forward or not, can be a bit messy. Sometimes it's hard to see that we're moving forward when we're moving forward. And then we get the Queen of Wands underneath the King of Cups. So this is about passion, leadership, steadiness, a little bit of stability. I think underneath that we have the Seven of Swords. This is about trickery, deceit, thieving. Um, that's kind of the current state that we're in, right? We're going to constantly need to, while the felon is currently in the occupying the White House and Elon Musk is still around, we're going to have to constantly be vigilant about making sure that we're not being lied to or deceived in some way. Also, might want to, again, not financial advice, but uh, make sure that everything on your credit card is actually something you bought. Everything on your checking account is actually something you bought. Make sure they credited all your deposits. Um, just double checking. I know I can be kind of laxed about that sometimes, but I don't know why I got that energy, but that's what I got. Okay, so let's continue. What do we need to know about the United States over the next 6 months? What do we need to know about the United States? 6 months. So I think, our alarms are up. I think our alarms are supposed to be up. What do we need to know about the United States over the next 6 months? Okay. So in February, we get the emperor. This is abuse of power. This also could represent the presidency. Um, so that tower energy is now clarified by the card for the felon and now the card for the presidency. So I think it's clear who's causing the chaos. We do get the Five of Swords. This is interesting in March. This is clarifying the Four of Swords and the Three of Wands. This is being wounded in battle, a setback, a loss of some sort. Some sort of change. Now, I feel like this is for the government. I don't feel like this is for the citizenry. So that might actually be a positive card for us. We do get strength in April. So, in judgment, that's interesting. In um, May, judgment cards underneath Elon Musk. So we get the death card in June. Yeah. And we get the Five of Wands in July. This is fighting amongst ourselves. Um, not like in our, not as factions, but like kind of the whole country is kind of unsure of what to do. I don't feel like it's like just half the country. I think it's kind of the whole country's unsure of how to proceed. And then underneath we get the Six of Cups, which is about intergenerational relationships. So that could relate to this of, debating what's best for the future generations. Um, okay. There aren't a lot of pentacles in this reading, so I'm not sure what to make of that. In fact, other than the King of Pentacles, I don't think there are any. So maybe the stock market does this, but then does that and just kind of doesn't do anything. That'd be okay, I guess. What do we need to know about the United States in the next 6 months? There's a lot going on in March. Good partnerships underneath the emperor in February. We get the emperor again. That's interesting. In March, again, this is abuse of power. It could be the presidency, and I'll go over all of them together and what I think they mean. But then we got the Four of Swords, ill health. We got wounded in battle, and now we have the card for the presidency. And in April, we get victory, some sort of win, whatever that might be. We get celebrations, the Four of Wands, and we get the Queen of Cups underneath the Death card. It was always my card for Kamala. That is not me saying Kamala is going to be president. I do not think that is going to happen. Uh, but that energy of just real steadiness, real the ability to connect and bring about calm. That's what I get from that card. And then we get the Seven of Pentacles. So we do have some Pentacles, planting seeds. Again, for the next generation. Um, is what that feels like in July. And we have the card for families and celebrations and reunions, the Ten of Pentacles. This also is the card for inheritance as well. So make of that as you wish underneath. So it could also mean an abundance of money too. I don't think it means that though. I think it means let's worry about the future generations, planting seeds for progress. What do we need to know about the United States over the next 6 months? United States. We get a message, an offering of some sort in regards to money with the Page of Pentacles in February. This could be like a trade-off with why the tariffs won't be enacted on Canada and Mexico. There's some sort of trade-off. We do get the Seven of Swords again underneath the Emperor. So this is deceit, trickery, thieving. Of course, in this particular illustration, there's a trap for the thief with the rope. Um, then we get some sort of new beginning, or at least new energy coming towards us in the month of April. We get strength again in May. It's the card for the voters in June, the Four of Wands, sometimes the marriage card. And we get the Star card of protection in July. And can't make it up. Ten of Swords underneath in the pack. In this depiction, it's like they're carrying off the person wounded in battle, who at this point appears to have passed. This is complete and utter downfall. I don't think this is the country's complete and utter downfall. I think that's the backdrop of the energy, though, is that the felon who occupies the White House is going to have a big break from his popularity, so to speak. I know he's not super popular with most of us, but so anyhow, February, huge energies. I think we've already been feeling this in relationship to the felon. Why? Because of abuse of power. And but new partnerships are going to form, and ultimately some sort of offer with respect to money. I think this has to do with um, not enacting the tariffs, but we can read on that. Again, at least not the tariffs on Canada and Mexico. I should be very careful. There's already tariffs on steel and stuff like that. Okay, so in March, we get ill health or mortally wounded. Some minor arcana death card. It's inevitable that the injury will be inflicted, whatever it is. To who? To the emperor, to the felon. Why? Perhaps because of abuse of power, perhaps because of health. And we might not find out about it right away. I feel like they're going to try to keep it a secret. So this is all very much in line with the readings about the felon's health, along with everything else going on. We do get families and reunions, but coming in from the rain, things are going to start to maybe take a more positive look in April. Although we might think for a while, are we being delusional? And we might be. The positivity might not last. But I think we'll find our strength leading to some sort of victory. I think this just might have to do with the courts, like telling people to, you know, telling the administration to stop overstepping their powers. It also could have to do with the Congress not passing some of the things that they might try to pass, like raising taxes on college students, things like that. Um, and ultimately, we get a new sort of feel to the energy and as we head into May. So, and then so in May, we have that inevitability again. Something inevitable is going to happen. We have Elon Musk, something inevitable with Elon Musk involving a judgment of some sort. And I think it is going to be rather harsh. It might be a public judgment. It could also be something to do with overseas, right? This sometimes is the overseas card. So wouldn't be surprised if, we did some readings earlier about maybe him having some problems with some of the laws in Europe and overseas. Maybe we find something out about that, some sort of judgment. It's going to be met with celebrations here, at least amongst a certain group of people. And we're also going to feel like we're getting kind of our, groove back, so to speak. I think things are going to get tempered. Okay. In June, we get the Two of Swords. So choices to be made, directions to choose. We get the Chariot card. This is all about movement, movement forward. Why are we moving forward? Well, we have death, which is the end of something, and also a beginning could be the literal death. But a new beginning of sorts after whatever's going to happen happens. Um, and then we get this kind of steady leadership, this like bringing together, coming together type feeling, bringing the people together, the Four of Wands. So, okay. And then in June, we get the King of Cups. This is my card for the Democrats. Perhaps the Democrats do better in those special elections than they ever thought they would. And something happens, and maybe they actually do have more power. They actually do have a lot of power. They're just, that's why the administration is bypassing the Congress. We get the Queen of Wands, passion, energy. This could be people coming together to do something good. It's going to cause a lot of ruckus, a lot of arguing back and forth, but I think it's for the betterment, to plant seeds for the future generations. And remember, we do have the Star card, the card of protection. So I think there's a couple other topics I'd like to throw some cards on. In particular, will the courts hold, and um will the courts hold, and what's the economy gonna look like? Because that didn't address the economy at all. Like there are very few pentacles, so maybe just nothing's going on with the economy. It's kind of like just moving forward, not getting better, not getting worse. That's certainly um possible. So let's see here. Let's just get these out of the way. I think I'll use the stack. Let's just give it kind of a cleanse. All right, what can you show us about, will the judges in the United States keep the felon from overstepping his powers? Will the judges in courts keep the felon from overstepping his powers? I've always gotten that they would. I feel like they're going to this time as well. So, will the courts hold so that the balance between the branches of government are equal. Let's see. Do you think there might be some setbacks with some of the federal districts, but then eventually it gets overturned by appellate courts? I think so. I think we're heading away from the trouble. At the Six of Swords. The challenge is steady leadership. We just don't have it, right? So the courts are going to have to provide it. Yeah, there's a lot of trickery and deceit going on, which is why this is underneath. And in the past, we have loss. So a lot of us have distrust of the courts, which is understandable because of losses that we've had in the courts, but it's in the past. I think the courts maybe now see things as more of a clear and present danger. Yeah, the courts will be the utter downfall of the felon in the White House. They'll basically make his executive orders moot. In the near future, we get heartache, heart attack. I think that relates to the felon. Let's keep going. We have the devil card, so a lot of mis and disinformation going on out there. This is just kind of describing the administration to me. Here's the courts, the Hierophant. It's just kind of clarifying that are actually reading about the right thing. The hopes and fears is that we get steady leadership. It's also the card for the Democrats. And we think about the next generation. This is the card for the felon being left out in the courts. I think he's going to suffer a lot of losses in the courts. I think the courts will hold. I think they will take this trickery and they'll say no to it. Choices being made, the magician, and then walking away from something that no longer serves us. Some dark energy, juggling of money, partnerships, new partnerships, and then arriving at some sort of steady leadership. I think we should read on that again in another few weeks to see how the courts do. So far, they're holding, I think that's my interpretation of those cards. Those cards were really bad, but I think they were about the felons in the court, the felon losing in the court, the felon suffering setbacks in the courts. So, all right, let's read about the economy and then let's see if anything comes back up. Okay, what can you tell us about the US economy? How's the US economy going to be doing? Yeah, I feel like the first part of the year is going to be tough. I know we're already into the second week of February, but I don't think it's anything to fear necessarily. I think it's just, maybe some adjustments need to be made. Shows the US economy. Well, we get the Empress. Um, this could be Russia. It could also be just motherly energy around money as well, planning, budgeting, that kind of stuff. The challenge is feeling isolated and alone and confined and uncertainty. The challenge with the economy really is the uncertainty that tower energy from February with those tariffs and the threats of tariffs and stuff. The uncertainty's the challenge. We do have the devil underneath. We're gonna get a lot of mis and disinformation again. In the past, we have the Queen of Cups. So things were better 4 months ago than they are now. There's going to be some fighting on what to do about it. It's going to leave somebody mortally wounded in the near future. I think this card popped up for the felon, so it makes sense that that applies to the felon. New partnerships forming. I think companies will find a way around the tariffs. I think there's always sneaky accounting practices, right? We get decisions needing to be made. Get our card for the Democrats in the hopes and fears again. So I think the hope is that the Democrats come back, but I don't know that they will. We do get surprising new beginnings, uh, heavy burdens to deal with, and then a new beginning around money. Okay, this kind of makes sense to me. What do we have underneath? Yeah, the Emperor. Before we look at all the shadow cards, I think all the uncertainty around the tariffs is going to cause some issues in the short term. Wouldn't be surprised if the stock market goes down 10-15%. That's pretty normal, actually. It goes down 10-15% a lot. Not in one day, but like over the course of, a month. Um, I think it'll come back up. So not financial advice at all. Um, this will leave the felon completely wounded and useless. Like he'll have no trust left. So new partnerships are going to have to form. Decisions will be made. The hope is that we get back to like steady leadership that we had under the Democrats, surprising new beginnings, but there's heavy burdens to bear, and we get new beginnings around money. Underneath, we have the emperor, the abuse of power, and the truth. The emperor's being left out in the cold because of the truth. And we have messages coming forward. And here's the new start with the Fool card. So I think, rocky roads for a while, right? Don't misinterpret this reading as being all roses, because I don't think it's that. But I also don't think it's, the end of the world either. I think, those first few months until we can get to like the spring and summer times, they're gonna be hard energies to deal with. So anyhow, thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.